Y'all remember that lawsuit Dak Prescott had to file due to extortion, and then the lawsuit that was filed in response to his filing an extortion lawsuit, pretty much accusing him of SA? Well, yeah, we got an update on that situation, and I'm sure a lot of the people that were ready to dance on the grave of Dak Prescott are gonna be upset with this news. What we have here is a notice of non-suit without prejudice from the plaintiff, Victoria Shores, in her civil suit against Dak Prescott, accusing him of SA and essentially trying to get some more bread up out of him. Here's what it says. To the honorable judge of said court, now comes plaintiff Victoria Shores and moves to non-suit the above captioned cause number without prejudice. Plaintiff respectfully requests the court grant said motion, respectfully submitted by the law office of Bethel Zehi, which is one of the lawyers involved in this case on the plaintiff behalf, or really the defendant's behalf in the extortion lawsuit, along with Yoel Zehi, which is quick funny story. This guy actually went to my college at the time that I was there at UTA, and even back then he was looked at as the kind of dude that you wouldn't really put a lot of trust into, because a lot of people actually felt like this dude was one of those people that you don't want to hang around too much, as far as him being like a sneaky snaky type of person, right? So just a very interesting little backdrop on the lawyer here, because he did go to my college at the same time I went there, and we both were involved in various organizations on the campus, and I know of him, okay? I knew of this dude before this lawsuit dropped, which is why I was so sure that this was some ambulance chasing BS. And essentially what we just read was a notice of non-suit without prejudice. What does non-suit without prejudice mean? I'm gonna show you real quick with a quick Google search. When a court dismisses a lawsuit with prejudice, it marks the end of that claim for both the plaintiff and defendant. The plaintiff can neither bring the case back to court nor take it to a higher court. On the other hand, a non-suit without prejudice refers to temporarily dismissing a lawsuit by the plaintiff. So essentially when this happens, it usually means if you are served a notice of non-suit, it may come as a relief. Even if it is without prejudice, which this one is, chances are good the plaintiff does not have enough supporting evidence to pursue a claim against you in court. In other words, the weak claims made in the original petition to Dak Prescott and his legal team, they can't be supported. And we actually have the documents here, and I want to take a deeper look at this real quick, especially since we have some sort of finality to this. I want to kind of take a deeper look at some of the documents that we have on hand, as far as the actual official court documents with this case. And then I'm going to go into a deeper discussion about how irresponsible it was for 105.3 to do what they did, especially in light of this news. So this is the original petition. This is Dak Prescott's petition against Victoria Shores because of the extortion claim and the fact that they tried to get $100 million off of him. But here's the key. Here's the key. I'm not going to bore you by reading through all 14 pages of this, because this is the original petition from Prescott v. Shores, and then this also contains like Exhibit A, which would be the letter that the defendant's lawyers originally sent to Dak Prescott. Yeah, this is going to be right here. This is from the law office of Bethel T. Zehi. You can see it here. Dear Mr. Prescott, our law firm has been retained to represent Victoria Valley Shores for injuries she sustained as a result of a sexual assault committed by you on or about February 2nd, 2017. You and Ms. Shores became acquainted through her employment and exchanged information. Communication ensued between you both via Snapchat. Okay, couple things here. Snapchat, you can't save correspondence on there unless the other person actually sees that you're saving it. All right, so for one, they probably don't have any information right here from Snapchat, because I'm pretty sure if Dak seen that she was like saving stuff, he probably would have just not been talking to her at all, right? And you invited her to hang out. Thereafter, on about February 2nd, 2017, you and Ms. Shores, along with 2 members of your entourage and a couple of additional female friends, met at, this was redacted, but we later found out this is Club Ecstasy, in Plano. At some point, you, Ms. Shores, along with the 2 members of your entourage, entered your black SUV-style vehicle. You directed Ms. Shores to the furthest back row so you could all head to Club Ecstasy. On the ride to Club Ecstasy, you exposed your genitalia. Ms. Shores did not want to engage in sexual intercourse and made sure to verbalize her wishes. Afterwards, the car came to a stop at your destination. Once this occurred, everyone got out of the car except you, and you further signaled to one of your entourage members to leave you and Ms. Shores alone. At this point, you used physical force and sexually assaulted Miss Shores by penetrating her vagina. Okay, so there would have to be a couple of things going on here. For one, for everyone else to get out of the vehicle and Dak to be the only person left in the vehicle, but somehow the defendant is still in the vehicle as well. Why was she still in the vehicle? If he had already pulled his meat out on her and she had already had to tell him, no, I don't want to do it. Why would she stay in the vehicle when it came to a stop? She should have been one of the first people getting out of the vehicle unless he restrained her against her will. This was never actually said in the lawsuit. That would also probably warrant a kidnapping charge as well, I would assume, or something to that degree if you were to restrain someone to prevent them from being able to leave, right? They never mentioned that. So how did you go from y'all got in the car, he pulled his meat out, you said no, so he put his meat back up, and y'all finished driving, got to where y'all were going, people started getting out, he stayed in, and then he did the essay? Okay, if that makes sense to some of y'all, it makes sense until you read the amended version of this. Then it says, Ms. Shores had to live with this pain and trauma for 7 years. It affected her relationship with her fiance and her everyday existence so much that she had to attend therapy and counseling and will require future therapy and counseling. All right, I'm going to poke holes in this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm poking holes in it. I know a lot of people are trying to be politically correct. Not I. I'm poking holes in it. You don't think the fact that you were even communicating with other dudes, how did you even get on the date in the one-on-one situation with Dak in the first place if you had a fiance? Why are you on Snapchat talking to this dude if you had a fiance in the first place? Right there, the defendant's credibility is getting shot already because she's clearly engaging in adultery or cheating, whatever you want to call it. They ain't married, so cheating. She's engaging in cheating behavior. So already you take a shot to your credibility because you're a cheater. All right, that part was lost on people. She had a fiance but was doing this other stuff. Okay. She has suffered mental anguish that is unimaginable dealing with the trauma of being SA for a victim. Despite so she suffered this mental anguish. I'm sure any victim of SA, I'm sure this is going to play a large part in it. Despite the tragic events, she is willing to forego pursuing criminal charges along with disclosing this information to the public in exchange for compensating her for the mental anguish she has suffered. Ms. Shores' damages are valued at the sum of $100 million. Valued by whom? Whom gave these values to her mental anguish? You have until February 16th, 2024 to respond to this demand letter. I just want to know, how can someone's mental anguish be valued at that much when your life was never even valued that much, or nowhere near close? You were never going to see $100 million in the course of your lifetime. So how can your mental anguish be worth that much? You see what I'm saying? That's just some craziness to me. You have until February 16, 2024 to respond to this demand letter. To discuss this matter, please have your attorneys reach out to us. And then he left his emails. Oh my gosh. Reading the original demand letter right there were several things wrong. The story of how the essay happened was kind of wild. Apparently there were other people in the vehicle when he first pulled his meat out. So there should be some other people that could come out and attest to this story then, right? There should be witnesses, is what this is saying, right? So you got in the car, he pulled his meat out as soon as you got in the car, you said no. Then y'all proceeded to drive to where y'all were going. And then everyone else got out, but you didn't? You stayed in? Or did he make you stay in? There's no clarity on that part. How did you end up staying in the vehicle, remaining in the vehicle with him after he had already propositioned you and you knew what time he was on and you wasn't agreeable to it? How did that happen? And see, the other part about this is, bizarrely, the correspondence was addressed to a third party at Mississippi State University where Prescott attended college. This lawyer didn't even originally send this to Dak's lawyer's office. They didn't even send this to the right place. They just sent it to Mississippi State for some reason. And if we want to read this part right here, it says, after receiving the aforementioned correspondence, counsel for Mr. Prescott reached out to confer with defendant Shore's counsel to confer on the matter, and surely she would not so blatantly attempt to extort a highly successful NFL quarterback at the height of his career. But defendants Bethel Zehi and Yoel Zehi confirmed their motives when they confirmed on a phone call that, one, all civil causes of action have expired. And 2, the sole reason for their demand of $100 million for Prescott was to forego criminal charges and for not making the alleged assault public. This is where all the causes of action come into play. The defamation and slander, the civil extortion and the rest, the business disparagement, the tortious interference with current and or prospective business relations, civil conspiracy, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Like Dak's team has a laundry list of stuff that they're going after this person for. And keep in mind, the only person that dropped their suit was the suit from Dallas County, the suit from Victoria Shores. Dak Prescott's suit is still up and live, I believe. Now, this is the other part that I wanted to actually go over, because this right here just shows the major contradiction involved with the young lady and her being able to recount her story and how it's presented, right? So let's go ahead and go over this real quick. So we remember the original demand letter. I just read that not too long ago when they were explaining how the event took place. Now this is the original petition from the plaintiff, right? So let's go ahead and look at this. This lawsuit is necessary as a result of an SA that plaintiff suffered on or about February 2nd, 2017. At that time, plaintiff and defendant met at the former's place of employment. Both parties, along with 2 members of the defendant's entourage, entered a black SUV style vehicle. Okay. So right there's already a discrepancy between the original petition filed with the court and the demand letter sent to Mississippi State, right? Remember, in the demand letter, it said Prescott, 2 members of his entourage, and some other females that were with them got in the vehicle. This time it's just saying there's 3 people, Dak Prescott and 2 other people he's with. The defendant directed the plaintiff to the furthest back row to the strip club known as XTC Cabaret. On the way to the strip club, defendant exposed his genitalia and plaintiff refused these advances. Defendant Prescott then proceeded to use physical force and forcibly penetrate the plaintiff. Y'all see how much information was left out right there? Okay, so in the original demand letter, it said that they had arrived, the vehicle stopped, people got out. He then told people to keep going, like get up out of here. Somehow she was still in the vehicle. Then the SA took place. Whereas in the original petition, now it's just saying that she got in the vehicle, took his meat out. She said no, then he took it anyways. Where's the rest of the details about how the vehicle stopped and the other people where are the other people in the vehicle at this point? You see what I'm saying? Like there was already tons of holes in this and there's no reason that they dropped this case. And you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. Dak them need to try to sue these people for everything that they're worth. I'm talking about everyone involved, the ambulance chasing lawyers, everyone involved needs to get a part of whatever legal ramifications come from this, because SA is a serious thing. And any victims of SA need to be able to come out and speak and have people believe them. And have people there to support them and there to lift them up and there to actually help the people that need help legitimately. When stuff like this happens, when there's a lot of cloudiness and it seems like some of the agendas may be a little construed and there may be some malicious intent behind this entire situation, this type of thing creates that room for doubt and creates that uncomfortable space where victims of SA can't actually come out and get the help that they need because they're afraid of the backlash, because situations like this happen. People just think that they're going to use this type of thing as a free meal ticket, as a way for them to come up in the world. And then you have ambulance chasing lawyers like Xual, who has already blatantly shown his disdain for Dak Prescott online over the years, how he doesn't want him as a quarterback of the Cowboys, and all this other stuff. There's just so many conflicts of interest that there was no way that this case was really going to pick up steam for the young lady. There just was no way. They handled it wrong from the onset. And it was doomed from then, and that's why I knew, and that's why I had the kind of confidence I had in this whole situation. I was never going to waver. I didn't want to bring it up or keep giving it any type of publicity because I didn't want to keep it as a topic of conversation. But now, since the conversation is, it's done for the time being at least, the conversation is done. More than likely, I'm expecting these lawyers are probably going to end up dropping this case. They're probably going to end up dropping this case. But for now, this is done. And now I need to come out and say what I wanted to say from the beginning, which was stop making it hard for actual victims of SA to come out and receive the help that they need. Because I'm sorry, if your mental anguish had a dollar price on it and you didn't care about him getting any type of justice, him getting his just dues, and you were willing to not say anything to anybody and make sure that this dude is punished if he is walking around out here taking it from people, and you willing to forego all of that just so he can give you $100 million? I didn't think there was anything to this, and now it's shown that there is. And 105.3, shame on you for platforming this foolishness. Either way, appreciate you guys tuning in. We still them same old Cowboys. I'll see you on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.